preseason games. So regular season will be here before we know it.
You are a veteran, man. This is season 9.
Woo. Goes fast. It goes fast. You know, this off season with Chris Dillman retiring, obviously for different circumstances, and LT retiring, that was the biggest thing that stood out to me was, hey, this thing doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
It'll be over before you know it. So, two things. One, have that urgency like we always have, but if there's a way to turn it up to go try to win a championship. And second, enjoy the heck out of it, because you know, this is what we love to do. We get to play a child's game, so it's fun and exciting.
I see you, Philip Rivers, and it looks like you are seeing this game through a child's eye. Every play looks fresh and new to you, even though, as Steve said, 9 years in the National Football League, you've attacked this season like you're coming out of North Carolina State.
Yeah, it's I'm excited. This year couldn't get here fast enough. A lot of it to do with how last year ended, and then a lot of it to do. It's just been a new off season. We brought in more free agents than we ever have. We've kept, for the most part, that nucleus that's been here for the last 7, 8, 9 seasons, and here we are again. This is, all we have is right now. All that's happened has gotten us to this, and I'm fired up.
Absolutely. Joining us on our LegalZoom Celebrity Hotline is Chargers quarterback Philip Rivers. We know you're a very emotional guy. It serves you well as the leader of the team. And you had some struggles. Certainly during that 6-game losing streak, it just seemed like everything was unraveling. Then you guys turned it around. And a lot of people believe you saved your head coach's job. Let's face it, you win 4 of your last 5. You end up actually sharing the AFC West crown, losing on the tie breaks. What happened during the streak? How are you able to right the ship? Because when things are going bad, it's really hard to turn things around.
It is, and it was as tough as it's ever been. 6 games in a row, and you mentioned that we would have games and stretches where we were really good, and then we'd have just that terrible turnover, interception, or whatever it be that kept us from winning those games. But I think, you find out the true character of guys when it gets rough like that. And we've always talked about the close group team we've had, a group of guys that we had, and I think it held true during that tough time. I mean, we were able to fight through it, and nobody wanted to be in it. It wasn't any fun, but we battled through it. And fortunately, I do think it had something to do with obviously being able to retain Norv and the staff, which I think has been, no question, the right thing, because you have a team that's been through so much together. We've had 2 rough years, rough finishes, but yet you just start over. I mean, I was just thinking, surely this ain't gonna happen, and so thankfully it didn't. And I think the guys all felt that way. And this year's exciting. We have more guys, I think, in the locker room than we've ever had. We've always had a good group, but more guys that really love football. And you say, doesn't everybody? Isn't that the case? But yeah. I mean, really love to play the game. And I think the more guys you have that way, the better chance you have.
And the vibe, Philip, I'm getting is this is the most competitive 1 through 90 I've ever seen at Chargers camp.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. There's a lot of guys that were brought in on the outside. In free agency, a lot of guys that have been here. There's a lot of good players, 1 through 90, and there's only 53 that are going to remain at the end of the camp. So it's competitive, and I think that's good. There's a lot of good versus good out there. You look at the DBs and the receivers and what kind of great work they're getting in interior with the linemen. All that does is make you better for when you get to the regular season.
Philip, the turnovers obviously were critical, and there were a lot of them last year. Are you one of the guys that can get past that, or was it weighing on you when suddenly you're doing things that frankly you hadn't done throughout your career as a starting quarterback?
Yeah, it was rough because the Chicago game comes to mind. The Chicago game, we played about as good as we could play, and you throw 2 interceptions your last 2 throws of the game. Throw one and then get the ball back and throw another one. And so there's such a fine line between either having a really good game or either having a game that can cost you.
Yeah.
So I don't think by any means am I going to be tentative this year or too careful or anything like that. I mean, there is more of an emphasis if you can have one on protecting the football. I think the biggest emphasis this year is just throw completions. Get the ball to Floyd and Gates and Meacham and Royal, and I can go on and on. There's so many of the weapons out there. Just give them the ball and let them run with it and let them do what they do, because if I can get the ball in their hands, good things are going to happen. If you can end every drive with a field goal, an extra point, or a punt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of those 3, then we're going to be all right, because we got our punters, a pretty awesome player as well. So it's not all bad to every now and then. Hey, it's not there. Let him kick it about 60 yards down the other end.
Well, let's face it, Philip, last year, the 20 picks, your 25 turnovers, that's an aberration. It was the worst year of your career. I can tell you face to face, mano a mano, because you know it. And people are trying to get all these kind of excuses for you, Philip. Oh, the 6 children, he's spending too much time with the children. He's got to be injured. Philip's got to be injured. But yet, those were never the case. It just that maybe you were trying too hard to make things happen last year.
Yeah, there were times. I mean, it's always harder to admit when you're in it, and then you can remove yourself a little bit and look back and you go, maybe I was trying a little too hard. And there's times when that can be a good thing, and there's times when that can work against you. And that's not why every pick was because I was trying too hard. Every now and then you're going to make a bad throw or make a bad decision. That's part of the game. But yeah, I always laugh when they point to the kids. I go, hey, there's 6 of them now. That means I've almost had a baby in every year. So that by no means had anything to do with it. But